My name is Richard Ayoade, and welcome to a soon-to-be iconic episode of Gadget Man, a heady collision of gadgets with what once was a man. Tonight, the weekend. How gadgets can help us optimize every single aspect of these precious 48 hours.
Do it to me, Richard!
Don't turn me into some kind of madam. Take the strain out of a weekend gym trip. This is so demeaning. And excise diverse hassles besetting the traditional Saturday night out. Look. Oh, come now.
Finally.
This is a great night out, just doing this. So if you want gadgets and a dispassionate man to guide you towards them, then your very specific needs are about to be catered for. For some reason, people seem to think the weekend is too short, even though it's always the same length. These so-called people should quit their quarrel with time and its regularity and start getting things done with gadgets. This new Ubi is a case in point. It's a Wi-Fi connected computer that links me to my gadgetry via my majestic baritone voice. Okay, Ubi, turn the lights on. It's difficult to construct a compelling case for getting out of bed at the weekend, so I've had to start referring to my ticker to give me an incentive. This death watch is literally counting the hours away towards the projected date of my demise. I have 3 more years to live. It's so long. With such a finite timescale, I suppose I can no longer waste my few remaining minutes on filming the boring process of getting dressed before the next sequence. And that can't begin until I've seen which tired TV faces want to ruin my weekend plans. The Leia S95 can display my video messages on a stream of barely visible fog.
Richard, it's Al here.
Who?
It's the weekend. You know, you work too hard, I work too hard.
Not really.
We need to really let our hair down.
You haven't got any hair.
Good, then I'll see you usual place. Same time, as ever. Fantastic.
Never met you before in my life.
Hey Richard!
Who are you?
It's really great to hear you're coming tonight.
I never agreed to that.
Al's very excited. We'll meet around 7. See you there.
How am I suddenly coming tonight? This is a living hell. My weekend, like my sense of self, is now hopelessly compromised. I'm ever closer to death, and I must now attend to various household chores, something I feel can be best dealt with by a relatively low-energy montage. Let the spring buffing begin. For a modest abode, Gadget Towers does soak up elbow grease, but the world's most advanced robotic vacuum can offset the worst of the curse. Its unique 360 vision system maps and navigates the room, so I don't have to 360 vision system map it myself. Or you could employ the RC Sugoi mop from Japan, which has the hubris to term itself amazing. And because gadgets also need gadgets to clean them, I dollop out Cyber Clean Putty, which molds to the contours of any device. And my inner miniature George Formby can be unlassoed with this. A fibre pad wipes and dries in one smooth action, giving your screens the weekend treat they asked for in that dream you keep having. And finally, no weekend would be complete without this chore that has been captured for the first time on camera. But now I delegate this duty to the Firemote firefighting robot. By week, it defends my land. At the weekend, it eviscerates dirt on my car. Like a boss. I've dealt with household chores with humanity and brutal efficiency, but now I must turn my massive mind to exercise, an activity that many insist on persisting with, even at the weekend of all times. Luckily, I'm lean like a wildcat, but what about others who aren't blessed with my world-class genes and furious metabolism? How do these unfortunates stay trim without wasting what limited breath they have left exercising? To help me assess the latest Keep Fit tech is a man who is so buff His head looks like a bicep. TV presenter Steve Jones. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Richard.
Thanks for joining me.
My pleasure.
You keep fit.
Use your eyes, Richard. Look at me.
I'm looking at a gun show.
Thank you.
I want to show you some gadgets to help, if anything, improve your workout regimen.
I didn't get the memo about colour, by the way. You're very colourful. I've got this Chariots of Fire thing going on, and
It's
you're
very
a
good.
goldie-looking chain.
Sure, that's a very specifically Welsh reference, and I'm going to address that now with this.
What have we got?
This
is this?
is a vest. Pop it on. It's going to react to your heat levels and show you which muscle groups are working hardest.
Wow,
Which
really?
I imagine will be all of them. Why don't you pop off?
I'll pop off.
And put that back on.
I'll pop back.
I will promise not to look. Bang! Bam!
Oh, look at that. See the vein in my arm?
That is just when you're resting. That's how much blood needs to flow through just to keep that kind of gun operable.
That's my hot blood.
Wow.
I should do these in shorts, by the way.
That would be an incitement to riot. OK? I want to strengthen my core.
Yeah.
You want to strengthen your core.
Naturally.
I'm going to get the quirky drift.
Okay. The quirky drift.
Take it.
Can I see what's underneath this quirky ball before I stand on
That's
it?
an excellent idea. These things.
What the?
They're really quirky. They're like the kind of things Belle and Sebastian would put underneath the board if they had one.
Okay.
You never know what's going to happen. Let's get on. Oh, God, this is so demeaning. OK?
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Rock solid. You're doing the robot over there, and I'm rock solid. Look at this.
Yeah, all right.
I can see how this is very good for the stomach, mind
I
you.
imagine someone like Phoebe from Friends on this quirky board, quipping, pointing out differences.
Should we dismount?
Let's dismount. We've nailed the warm-up. Now let's see if gadgets can take the utter boredom out of running. The Sport Eye is a state-of-the-art fitness tracker which attaches to your glasses to provide performance feedback. I'm going to wear the Spree Smart Cap.
You're not a man who normally wears hats, are you?
What are you talking about? Are you saying that I don't look fly in this?
No.
You shut your mouth. How dare you? You're trying to psych me out. I know what's going on. You're worried I'm going to show you up.
Tell me more about your magic hat.
I will do that now, Steve. Its magic lies in its ability to sync with your smartphone to measure heart rate, temperature, and number of calories burned. All right, off we go.
All right.
I need to get in the green. Where are you?
Is that how you actually run?
Heart rate, 75.
Oh, it's speaking to me.
Great job.
What's it say?
It's saying my heartbeat is 75.
75. Is that good?
I don't know.
I can't get any purges on my forehead, Steve.
It's the wind. You're moving too fast.
Oh, great workout.
What does it say?
I've burnt 3 calories.
What?
3 calories.
Now.
What's that? That's about the same calorific content as air. But it's the weekend. I've already downed a gallon of beef, so this marathon must continue. This time Steve's wearing the gutter sweatband, which will capture and channel Steve's masculine sweat away from his feminine eyes. I've got this.
What the hell is that?
It's the run bell, y'all.
That's a pretty good idea, actually.
Yes.
I run a lot in Regent's Park.
Yes.
And there's always annoying pedestrians in the way, walking with their children, going to the zoo.
People are having children still now?
I know.
I'm not going at that speed. Get out of the way! Don't make this an overblood situation. Don't collide. Yes.
It works, you know.
Oh, it's hell. These shoes really pinch. After a comprehensive workout, oh, good grief, it's really important to cool down and stretch, but I cannot be figged. So I always bring a portable high-tech solution. Steve, you just asked me off camera for a massage, which I thought was inappropriate. So I brought you to the aqua massage. Okay? Pop in.
What am I, pop in? What, it's not a cottage. I don't know where I'm going. Oh.
You know where you're going. Okay.
That was slick.
Just slide in. You'll be fine. Let's close it down.
Nothing's up. Oh, feels good.
Yeah?
Feels like loads of tiny little fists hitting me, like little monkeys punching my buttocks.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
36 computer-controlled water jets simulate a personal fingertip massage, giving you the benefit of a traditional half-hour pummel in just 10 mins.
Oh yeah. Do it to me, Richard.
Don't turn me into some kind of madam.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yes.
I can't bear this any longer, so I'm going to leave.
Do you know what? I was going to ask you to leave anyway.
I'm going to leave you with your own conscience.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Whilst I wait for my endorphins to level out, here are 3 mean machines, each representing 20 million Britons. My public panel. This week, gadgets to take the hard work out of your weekend leisure time. Whilst I like to keep my hours spent outdoors to a minimum, others take part willingly in the weekend illusion called gardening. And with the Cooper's 3-in-1 garden vacuum, leaf clearing can be made even more pleasurable than it no doubt already is.
I think that would do to the garden what James Dyson did to the house. I'm pretty impressed with that.
Yeah, it's very light and easy to use.
So it blows, it sucks, it shreds.
Geez, get a room.
Let's barbecue, shall we?
A forgotten sausage on the barbecue can turn your weekend into a nonsense.
Wouldn't like to have been to this barbecue, would you?
But those terrifying days are at their end. The Grillbot is the world's first automatic barbecue cleaning robot.
Well, I like anything that's going to help me do with the cleaning.
Oh, she's away.
Just set to one of 3 cleaning programs and an alarm will let you know when the chore's complete.
I've got reservations. To be honest with you, if you just get a brush when it's hot, it's done.
Weekend weed removal is henceforth tasked to the weed spinner, as it capably vanquishes undesirable plants with its weed spinning ways.
Whoa, there we go, there we go, there we go. It's not bad, that, actually. That's taking the full roots out, so you do notice straight away that you're not pulling your back to do it.
We have cleared our crafts away from the table, and we must now talk about gadgets. Please deliver me your verdict.
Number 1, Richard, was the Cooper's 3-in-1 garden vacuum.
Well, that's good news for Coopers. The 3-in-1 garden vacuum cleaner is the nation's choice of gadget. Coming up, I turn my attention to something that I assume is some kind of prank sentence. Come now. The Great British Saturday Night Out.
I wouldn't lose their cool and might do a Nazi salute or anything.
We're at the midpoint of a critically acclaimed investigation
Yeah!
into how the challenges and obligations of the average weekend can be sugared by a judicious sprinkle of gage. So far, we have tackled household chores and the whole unsightly business of exercising.
Don't make this a Zola-Bud situation.
As well as these faffing irks, the weekend places an even greater burden upon our shoulders. The pressure to have what you people call a good time. And nowhere is this more evident than on a night out. This often takes the form of riotous, unguarded beverage consumption in a public house as the fateful journey on the night bus home edges ever nearer. It's a familiar tale and one fraught with terror. And joining me to create the bitter illusion of a joyful social gathering are 2 people and comedians, Sarah Pascoe and Al Murray.
So did you get that from Stamping and Clapping? Because he does that a lot,
Yeah,
doesn't
he does that a lot, yeah.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello, Richard.
Hi, Al.
Hi.
Thanks for agreeing to attend. I know it's tempting to bail.
Oh, no, we've had a lovely time. Do you want a drink?
I've brought my own water. So,
I mean, another banging night out with you then.
it's going to get crazy and hydrated. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about nights out?
When they come along, nights out are special and precious. It just makes this even more special and precious.
Well, thank you for that.
What do you do on a night out, usually?
I try and find my way home. I'm going to try and make this night out even better than it currently is by addressing the situation of phones.
Ah.
In a situation like this, people
Yes.
often on their phones,
Yeah.
Yes.
sending
Yeah.
business emails,
Yeah.
organising squash appointments.
Selling stocks.
Squash?
You know how it is. You've got to book squash up or it just doesn't happen.
Okay, I suppose.
Yeah, so phones on the table. Designed to help people surmount temptation, the kitchen safe has a lockable timer which can be set for any length of time between 1 minute and 10 days.
What if my phone rings?
You cannot get it out
But can
for
you
5
hear
minutes.
It? Is it soundproof?
Yeah, but-
It's not soundproof. It's not a panic room for phones.
So
you
it's
can
cool.
hear
You
it.
can hear it crying and
Yes.
mewling.
Well, happy about that.
Well, I'm sorry, that's the situation. Let's take the autographer, okay? Because one of the things we need to do is take photos.
Yeah, but I could be taking photos right now.
It's locked away.
You've locked my phone away. Previously there was one gadget, there are now two.
Yes,
to make up
progress.
for the missing gadget.
Things are getting better all the time, as you correctly point out.
The autographer is the world's first intelligent wearable camera, which can be set to take a stream of pictures every few seconds in a wonderful, spontaneous, hands-free way.
I'm trying to steer it towards people surreptitiously if nobody noticing.
That's perhaps not as surreptitious as you'd hope.
No one will know.
No. Al, don't think I'm not going to take care of you.
Oh, well.
The sonic foamer claims to make beer taste better by using ultrasonic vibrations to excite the gases.
Look. Oh, come now.
Finally.
Oh, I like
Come
that.
now. Come now. Yeah? I mean, this is a great night out, just doing this.
And do you know what would happen? You'd
Testing.
definitely make friends, because other people would come over and go, hey, you've got the sonic foamer, do you mind if I? And
Yeah.
of course.
We're having a great time. Now let's address one of the things that is awful about being outside, the sound of other people. Take the Peltor Lycon Plus.
Wow.
That's yours.
Oh, that's a gadget.
That's yours. Normally these are used on oil rigs,
Spaceships.
but now everyone else is blocked out.
I can't believe this. I
This is
can't hear
good.
anybody but us.
Well,
It's excellent, isn't it?
yeah, it's like being in a helicopter or something.
It's great, isn't it?
Incoming! We're going down! We're going down!
You can do things like that.
Because it keeps cutting us off
Yeah.
when anyone else can talk at a time. It's not really like banter-tastic, is it?
Okay, I think we should start saying over now after everything we say, or over. Otherwise this is going to become very confusing. Over.
I think this is a great device with over.
I've nothing to add. Out.
So, which has been your favourite gadget thus far?
My favourite gadget is sonic foamer.
I'm with Sarah, the sonic foamer.
Yeah.
Me. The rest are really rubbish.
You're in 1 minute silence for that, okay? 1 minute of silence.
All good things must come to an end, and so too must our night out. And because I'm still banned from London transport, we'll have to forego the night bus and slum it on the Squadron 55.
This is so exciting. The night's been great, and now it's the best night of my life.
But there's no one, look, there's no one driving it.
Yeah, that's going to become a problem soon. At this point, while we're going straight, we're fine.
Okay, fine.
Now, what often happens at the end of an eve is that people want yet more drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those who find it a day a hard thing to call, a solution of sorts. Pat's Backcountry Beverages Carbonator. Simply add brew concentrate, a blend of potassium bicarb and citric acid and purified water, pump to start the chemical reaction, and then shake like Otis Redding, but not as cool.
If you're on a yacht and you're doing this, you're perhaps economising in the wrong area. And while I'm doing this, my obituary clip, okay, well, I'm going to pass you this, the spill knot.
So, will you passing me that?
Okay, this is like a magic trick. Do not look at what my other hand is doing, okay? The spill knot. Focus on the spill knot.
Okay.
This, using the basic rules of physics, which are immutable until we find new laws.
We do that with it?
Yes, exactly. Hello.
Oh, wow, wait a second.
Oh, it does smell quite pungent.
Punge me.
Wow. There you go.
Lovely aroma. Thank you
You're
very
more
much.
than welcome.
Cheers. Happy yachting.
I'm having this amount. That's rank. So, let's put it on the spill knot. Look at that.
It's not going anywhere.
Oh, you don't look in command of that enough. Oh.
Ah, danger.
Okay. It's starting to get real on the Thames now.
Eye contact can be fatal on public transportation, so it's crucial to don the Stooksy VR goggles. Load with your smartphone, download an app, and you will be immersed in a 3D game of all places.
I'm going to designate myself as the responsible adult in this situation because you two are sitting ducks for assailants.
Oh, I'm about to go
going
down
round
now.
it.
I'm about to go down now. I'm about to go down now. Oh, dear. Okay, this is quite fast, actually.
Going round. The details, amazing. Butterflies and things.
This is my kind of night out. We're all in separate worlds, not relating to one another. It's been pretty good, right?
It's been pretty good. It's been scary at times.
Yes.
I've learned a lot.
Have you taken yours off?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought so.
Yeah.
We know we've had a great time.
So great.
Yeah.
These memories will live for us till until Valhalla, when we meet again.
Yeah.
But what about people who live in the here and now? We need to post this on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And make them feel worse about their rubbish lives. We're going to do this outside now.
Wow.
Amazing.
Okay, so we need to get a picture of us on this boat.
Having the best fun ever.
Exactly. I've paired to my cool wristwatch the Solo Shot 2.
It's a fully robotic automated cameraman, originally designed for solo surfers who want a heck of fresh action shot, but can't be in two places at once. It's been successfully tracking and filming our passage down the Thames from a location on Tower Bridge, and now to round off this already very much filmed evening, we're going to wade deeper into the pool of Narcissus.
No one lose their cool and like do a Nazi salute or anything. I've gone more regal.
Yeah, you've gone fully regal.
They're some of the most exciting images of the modern era. My achievements have been on a grand scale, and I've tonight proved indubitably that with gadgets, the weekend need never be lost.
I've had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you.
Well, that's very kind, Al.
One question.
Yes.
You said they were getting this yacht home.
Yeah.
What if I don't live near the river?
You're not in luck. Because once this docks, the evening's over and you're dead to me.
That's where I sleep.
Yeah.
That's show business.
Seems fair.
Yeah, it's tough on the way down.
Yeah.
Very tough.
Next time, can gadgets take the strain,
Go away.
pain,
That's really poor.
and the work out of the 9 to 5?
Think of how much more efficient this is than normal preparation. Viewers of previous episodes, and my apologies to you, may have retained the fact that my name is Richard Ayoade and that this show is all about gadgets. And if this is your first time, why not see how long you can stand it for?
Gadgets are both my yin and my yang.
This really is on fire.
Tonight, can gadgets take the stress,
Go away.
the strain,
No!
and even the work
Oh look, it went.
out of our working lives?
I can't take this right now, I'm at my desk. Let you and I commence, not with frivolity, but with my old foe, fact. 48% of the working population of the United Kingdom, or UK for short, are not happy with their work-life balance. And the other 52% didn't understand the question. Well, I'm here specifically for those 48% looking to prioritise life over work.
Unbidden, I will show how gadgets can help these people ease their workload or shirk it altogether. Starting with those yearning to maximise their personal productivity.
In my sociopathic persona as Gadget Man, I abhor coffee shops, but some people actually choose to come into these places and pretend to work. But can gadgets turn this promise of productivity into a reality? Sure as shiz they can. Let's kick off with your mobile device.
I long ago abandoned primitive paper notebooks in favour of their more powerful digital betters. This portable touchscreen can be propped up, so I can look at a portable touchscreen anywhere, anytime. But before I start to pretend to type, I need to sweep for germs. Thankfully, I always pack the UVC keyboard sanitizer to blast my QWERTY with germicidal UV light. And there's no way I'm going to let loose liquids undo this good work.
For now, the threat of beverage spillage drenching my tech is a distant, if harrowing memory.
If you have hands, then you fit the demographic specifically targeted by the MeTime Hand Massager. It uses heat and compressed air to stimulate reflex points in your hands if for some reason your digits should seize.
As someone who is opposed to massage on humanitarian grounds, I found this appalling, but at least I can make it stop.
More relaxing is a change of position and posture, which is why I always pack a foot. So for the home worker or coffee shop wastrel, gadgets are bound to make the interlatte hours more bearable. But what about people who actually have to go into a freaking office and do some real work, for Pete's sake?
Swap a typewriter for a computer and an ashtray for a mouse, and the average office desk hasn't changed in over a century. It's time to intervene.
I'm on my way to meet Richard Ward, an expert on interactive technology. He's going to showcase the kind of near-future gadget that ought to be in every office by the end of the week. And to assist in the forensic analysis of this technology, I'll be joined by a man who's occupied some of the brightest desks in television, Dara O'Brien.
Now, confusingly, you are also called Richard.
That is correct.
But you are going to take us through these devices. I also will insist that we maintain this kind of distance between us. We are
Okay, I'm down with it.
Very formal show, isn't it?
It is.
Hello, Richard.
Hello.
Is it the Office of the Future, Richard?
It's just like the Office of the Future, Dara. This is like a giant tablet. It's brilliant for people working together collaboratively or just doing something on a grand scale.
The media wall comprises 9 of the largest ultra-high-definition monitors available. Infrared light is fired across the front of them to make this a tablet that 32 people could use at once.
Say, for example, I had one of these in my home and I had broken into, like, just to pick a hypothetical, an ex-girlfriend's Facebook account.
Yes.
Right? This is just a hypothetical. If, for example, I have a giant montage of ex-girlfriend's photographs.
Giant montage?
A giant, like this is, all of this. Right?
How many ex-girlfriends have you got?
No, just her. And she takes a lot of photographs. And has a lot of holidays, actually. But I'm not, who am I to judge?
Okay.
And then I hear the footsteps of my wife appearing. How quickly can I shut it all down? Shut it down, close it off. Is there just a way that
I
one touch...
I wouldn't be doing that kind of stuff on the screen. I mean, it sounds like you're asking for it if you're doing it on a screen this size.
It's just... I just want to lose myself in her life.
OK, sure.
I just want to literally drown myself in her happiness. Is that a lot to ask?
We're talking about office stuff. This sounds like it should be done within a therapist's room.
Undeterred by Dara's ludicrous attempts to misapply technology, the even more ludicrously named Richard introduces us to the Tobii Ergo, an eye tracker that means you will never have to handle a mouse again.
But surely you'll just replace it by straining your eyeballs.
Apparently, eyes are meant to do that more than fingers are to do that, apparently. Also, the mouse is always where you expect it to be.
Yes.
Because you look and there it is.
I find using my eyes exhausting. That's why, you know, I've got these.
The Ergo sits below the screen and projects near-infrared light onto the user's eyes, allowing image sensors to follow their gaze and move the cursor accordingly.
I can't do this. This is exhausting me.
Is this exhausting you more than actually using your hands?
I've never got so exhausted from that I needed to lie down.
Electronic assistants like Apple's Siri are, like me, faceless and emotionless. But the weirdly named Richard shows us to a prototype that's going to bust the assistant game up at least one more notch.
Richard, what the funk is on this plinth?
This particular example is a collaboration between Toshiba and University of Cambridge.
Right.
And
Good
you can
people.
basically make her say stuff and dictate the emotion in which she says it.
Zoe is based on the actor and actress Zoe Lister. The team spent several days recording her speech and facial expressions, using these to help create a prototype for the next generation of personal assistants, whose words and emotions can be programmed.
This is 3 more emotions than I possess.
Yeah.
Go for tender.
Tender, OK.
The quality of your work means we have to let you go.
Oh, there's a proper
quaver. Yeah, there's a bit of a...
She's sad.
Yeah.
She's sad to see the back of you.
Why don't you put anger on full?
Yeah.
And I'd like to introduce happiness into that.
Oh, so she's
could you change the text?
You can change the text to anything. That's the beauty of it. Anything. What do you want to say?
We've run out of mustard.
But she's angry, you think, about this?
She's angry about it. But in a way, she's also happy because she doesn't like mustard.
I've added an extra bit at the end, by the way.
OK.
We've run out of mustard. Damn you, Richard. Damn you to hell.
And the mouth stretching is a nice...
Do you like that?
Aspect.
It looks like she's wearing a brace.
It looks like her teeth have joined together and are melting.
Yeah, she's very angry about the mustard situation.
Melting with anger.
She's angry at you.
I know.
About the mustard situation.
This way.
Lastly, it's time to tackle the elephant in the office. I'm talking D to the E to the S to the K.
So, this is called a zero-gravity workstation. It's not literally zero gravity, it just reduces the stress of gravity on your body.
Shall I, am I?
Yeah, go on, Trump. Saddle up.
Hang on. Ooh. Oh, I can feel the G's slip away.
Wow.
Motors.
Could you bring the screen closer, servile wench?
And old-fashioned manual adjustment mean that the pitiless compromises of the traditional workstation are henceforth eradicated.
It would be possible to omit a smidge of arrogance in such a position as this. It's slightly grand, is what I'm saying.
The desk has given Dara a dizzying sense of power and he's become sack-happy.
We've only seen 4 of these things, and I'm worried about what you've become.
You know what I've become comfy.
You've become a corporate monster within 4 gadgets.
I'm going to write sack Richard, just to...
Okay.
And I'm gonna, look at me, I'm actioning that.
Okay.
I'm actioning that.
I say, before you sack me, I'm walking.
Ooh.
I'm leaving.
Oh, no,
I'm leaving the corporation.
Faster than I can send it.
No, I'm not
faster than I can send
I'm
it.
left.
And send.
I quit.
All this tech will make office work more bearable, but it won't lessen the quantity, which isn't going to help the previously identified 48% of people who would probably rather not go to work at all. Surely we can do something. Time to call my technical support staff.
Hello? Yeah, it's me. I've got a Gordian knot I need you to slice. I need people to be able to go to work without going to work, and I need a solution about 4 minutes before the end credits. Okay, bye.
And while we await that solution to that simple problem, let's take a work-related detour. Bean and leaf-based beverages bestrew the office. Can gadgets make them more delectable? Literally, who else can I contractually ask except for my public panel? Who in the modern office has time to wait for the kettle to boil? Not one person in the world, which is why we will all, as of now, be switching to the app-controlled iKettle.
Oh,
That's it.
it's even
That's your
told
cue
me
to
it's
go.
boiled, eh? If you're in another room, that's handy, isn't it?
It is.
For espresso aficionados, the Mini Presso is a hand-pumped espresso maker.
This is so appetizing.
That requires no batteries or power, meaning very strong coffee is now available to anyone in the office who can fight sadness for long enough to assemble it.
I don't think you go through the exercise.
I understand.
Because there's a lot of easier
A lot
ways
of business.
doing it.
Finally, the Bodum vacuum brewer. It's stylish, it's retro, it is not quick.
It's not my idea of fun waiting 10 minutes for a coffee, but I would get it out on special occasions.
This process is supposed to keep the essential oils and aromas intact.
Nice aroma.
To compare it to a cafetiere-style filter coffee, I can't tell whether it's any better.
Gadgets that would enhance any workplace, but which will prove triumphant.
Please do not keep me in this dreadful suspense any longer. First is...
The Mini Presso.
The Mini Presso. Thank mercy. And the public has spoken. The Mini Presso has triumphed.
Coming up, my tireless quest to cook the books of work-life in favour of life continues as I tackle the tech designed to eradicate workplace stress.
I love this.
Okay.
And my work-free workplace goes live.
Think of how much more efficient this is than the normal preparation method.
Shaken to the core of my persona by the news that nearly half the population don't really like working that much, I'm on a selfless quest to help them avoid it. To this end, I've instructed my technical support staff to create a workplace I don't have to work in.
But let us begin this most second of parts in earnest with yet another remarkable fact. Last year, there were 487,000 cases of workplace stress. The man is grinding all of us down. As you know by now, real-world problems like bullying bosses, unrealistic workload, incompetent managers, colleagues, or subordinates are beyond my remit. What I can offer is a ruthless examination of gadgets designed to help relieve stress.
Joining me is a journalist who hates offices so much she has constructed her whole career to try and swerve them and could only be lured here by a fee.
Hello, Grace Dent.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Sorry I'm 20 hours late.
It's all right.
Now, how do you feel about offices?
The office environment makes me very, very stressed. It's not so much the office, it's the people.
You do know they can hear you, they have ears. Well, we're going to try out some gadgets.
According to a reputable search engine, exercise is a great way of reducing stress.
Hello.
That same search engine led us to 3 gadgets roughly based on this premise.
What am I doing?
This is the office gym.
Oh.
Just so you can do resistance exercise, like that.
How much is this?
This is $129.
Oh, go away.
I will.
You realise you
can
need
leave
to
the
go to AA.
conversation and still be pumping. I'll see you in the next meeting.
Oh.
Look at this. Still exercising.
It's like dealing with a child.
Still exercising, Grace. Still pumping.
Thank you.
Office golf is a stress relief cliche for the jaded exec, and that's why we're showing it.
Okay, hang on.
It
So
seems quite
what's
low.
the aim? What's the actual aim of this?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen it on TV. I think you hit the ball, and it's meant to go eventually towards a hole. So, like this. Are you meant to look where you're going?
God, no.
What do you
Just do it. Just hit the green thing.
Oh, look, it went. It went to some other nondescript area of green.
Infrared sensors measure club speed and angle to make the game as realistic as possible. Who could fail to find this a tonic?
I hate this thing and I hate everything it stands for.
OK, well, that's the endorsement they want.
For whatever reason, Grace seems more stressed than ever, but I have one last ace in my personal hole.
So,
Yeah.
the idea with this is that you work at your desk, but you're sedentary, thus increasing the risk
Yeah.
of death.
Walking at a steady pace
I can't take this right now, I'm at my desk.
stimulates brain activity and burns calories, making you a smarter, fitter, less stressed worker.
This is the only thing that you've shown me so far that isn't ridiculous.
Not ridiculous, it's precisely what this is.
Because not only can I find dresses on the internet, I can actually make sure that I fit into the dresses at the same time, and I like that.
Such was Grace's evangelism for the TR-1200, she commandeered it with alarming alacrity.
New book.
So, Grace, I was going to ask you what your favourite gadget was, and I think you've answered.
This is my favourite gadget. I love this.
OK.
Thank you for having me.
I leave you more relaxed from when I met you, which is very rare in an encounter with me. So thank you. I will see you
Bye,
anon.
Richard. See ya.
Bye.
Next morning, back at Gadget Towers, it was time to see if my technical support staff had found a way for me to avoid going to the office.
Hello, viewer. Let me paint you a picture of our unfolding narrative. It is 9 a.m. and I'm about to go to work.
Far from my crib, my technical support staff has constructed a fully functioning fake office staffed by the world's best telepresence devices and programmable robots. And because of his insight, intellect and total availability, I've re-recruited Dara to be the office's only living worker.
Hi, Dara.
Richard?
Welcome to the team.
Oh, my God, Richard, what have they done to you? Richard! Oh, my God, is this what you are now?
Dara, think of this as Skype on wheels.
Oh, you're not, like, in the thing? You're not in the...
I'm in bed with a laptop.
I literally thought they transplanted your brain into a robot.
That's how good this is.
But Dara has no time to gawp. His agreeing to come was contingent on leaving as soon as possible, so he's got to get to work.
Hello. Actually, this is genuinely delightful.
The cost-conscious solution to the problem of mobile telepresence is the Romo, which turns your smartphone into a remote-controlled desktop robot.
Now, don't touch me. That's harassment in the workplace.
It's not. You're not even here.
That was inappropriate touching. You touched my face. That's
soft
intimidation.
Face.
Stop
you
it.
have a soft
Don't.
face.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
That was a bit
Who
extreme.
can play at that game?
Okay.
All right.
What is this my work that I have to do?
Yes, this is your work.
This is a waiver of liability.
That's correct.
It literally includes the words, by signing below, I forfeit all right to bring a suit against Gadget Man for any reason.
That is correct. I need to countersign it.
OK, let me slide it under here.
Slide it under my arm.
KUKA robot arms are used in industry and science to do everything from welding to surgery. But office admin is a new market.
It's remarkable, actually. Are you going to do it on the paper at any stage?
I generally, before I sign stuff, I have a bit of a flourish above the paper to focus the mind before depressing it.
Why don't you...
Dara.
Yes?
Be honest, did you lower this table?
No.
OK, you may have to lift it up to the robot arm. Just lift the paper up a tiny
OK, I'm lifting it up, I'm lifting it up. OK, here we go. Oh, there, oh my Lord, oh.
That's really poor.
There we go.
Wow.
That is more like some sort of colouring in you've done.
That is how I sign. That's my signature. Now, we only have 100 more documents to do, so let's keep the banter light.
OK, come on.
After that brief bout of work, Dara has certainly earned a break.
Hey, Richard.
Hi, Dara.
This is like the social high point of the day, really, in office life. Who am I spending my break time with?
You're spending it with 4 junior members of Daft Punk.
Now robots are some of the most versatile in the world. They're used as electronic companions as well as teachers and have a huge following among programmers. And when it comes to making tea, they are the shiz.
Yes, the tea bag is near the water.
Yes.
And now we're out.
Look at that.
And this will be a weak cup of tea, Richard.
Fortunately, they can be programmed to do a number of other jobs and can walk, talk and see.
Here we
Think of how much
go.
more efficient this is than the normal preparation method.
Fresh from that triumph, I summoned my staff to the boardroom for a one-to-one. Representing me whilst I remain bedbound is Robo-Thespian, a machine purpose-built to present information in an engaging way. Motion-sensitive controllers track my hand and head movements and give me a far greater range of gesture and expression than I possess in real life.
Dara, I'm going to ask you, which gadget do you think has been the most successful? I mean, they've all triumphed. But if you had to pick one.
I would have to say probably the signature robot.
Yes.
Because it's given me any number of legal loopholes with which to sue you.
Well, it's a shame that it should have come to this, Dara, because I'm having a look at my organisation and I can't see you fitting in. You're not a team player.
I'm literally the only person in your organisation.
Despite occasional flashes of brilliance, with regret, I have to inform you, Dara,
what are you pointing
the
at?
whiteboard and you are both fired.
Well, I hope you enjoy your virtual office.
Well, good luck in your future business endeavours. You'll need it. Because you couldn't sell fish to someone who needed fish, or something that he would say that was pithy and sounded from the streets.
Can I thank you for the opportunity?
Just sling your fired. Proof, if it were ever in doubt, that we can look forward to a future dominated by robots, where interpersonal relationships, warmth and basic humanity are consigned to history. Oh, happy day. Yeah, can't get Wi-Fi.
I'm pregnant.
Next time, it's date night.
Oh, bang.
Can gadgets help love's course run smooth?
She's got no pulse. Tom, she's flatlined. Begin CPR immediately.
Welcome to another loosely themed, begadgeted barnstormer of a broadcast, impassively fronted by a man who persists with the stage name Richard Ayoade.
And tonight, I'm adding ROM to COM to find out if gadgets can bring some much-needed order to that most ungovernable of human emotions, love.
I'm pregnant.
I'm adapting existing gadgets to a new purpose to make romance more efficient and less like the uphill struggle I hear it can sometimes be.
Oh, bang.
But can technology help the course of love run smooth?
I don't alarm you, Tom, but your BPM is 96. Calm it down. You're at 96, Tom. Before we unfurl this triage of romance, relationships and technology, I must issue a perhaps devastating warning. This brother is spoken for. But it doesn't mean that I can't pretend to be interested in the romantic fortunes of others, especially if gadgets are involved. And don't worry, this isn't going to be some kind of pre-Watershed and Summers party. I'm going to make this factual, rigorous and scientific, the precise qualities we should be looking for in our relationships. For me, romance begins and potentially ends in the home, a place I would rather never leave. And now there's literally no reason, because I possess an Optima GT 1080.
It's a projector which allows me to turn the room into any romantic location of my choice. I could have gone for any copyright-free image, but I've settled on this never-before-seen vista of downtown Paris.
Candles have long been considered the natural choice for romantic lighting. But what's sexy about a fire hazard, or indeed the word sexy?
Far better are these Philips Hue lights, programmed to change to any one of 16 million colours to suit my volcanically unstable moods, and activated when I update my status or send one of my countless tweets.
So all I have to do is type #purple-romance, and lo, the scene for Purpley Romance is set. Now, no bog-standard romantic ambiance would be complete without wine consumption.
Or appropriate power tools. So I use the Bosch IXO Vino, turning a cordless screwdriver into an electric corkscrew.
It's decorked.
With corks removed and lights too low for proper visibility, the stage is almost set for romance to partially unleash itself. I just need the right sounds.
But what the clef will best fit the mood? How can I choose between creepily smooth jazz and terrible R&B?
Well, now I don't have to choose between those limited options, because the Traktor Control S8 allows me to create my own romantic mashups. With high-res displays that react to touch-sensitive controls, the S8 lets you drop beats like they're too hot to hold safely. With seamless mixing, my pretend love groove is now massively operational. You've just watched me create the perfect ambience for my fictional love interest. But what about those not as far advanced on their romantic journeys? Can gadgets help these losers make a good first impression? For assistance in this matter, two comedians who are willing for a one-off cash fee to talk about the horrors of single life, Tom Rosenthal and Catherine Ryan.
Hello, Catherine.
Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Thank you for agreeing to join me here. We are in a bar. This is where people meet one another, supposedly, and they make their first impressions. What about overheating?
Yeah, constant problem.
That can happen, can't it?
Yeah.
And because some people remain unseduced by excessive sweat, I'm giving Tom the Procool CO2 system, which brings comfort to athletes, firefighters, and now a person on this show.
This is going to cool you down, leaving you free to enjoy the date without worry about becoming hot, like a firefighter. Okay? So will you pop this on for me?
Happy to.
All
Thank you so much.
Why wouldn't you just dress like a firefighter?
That would be my solution. Catherine, don't think we're not going to use our time wisely, because I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your head off. The mirror handbag.
Oh.
For awkward silences, like this one, it's an app-controlled smart clutch that can display words of your choosing to G-along conversation.
How about I'm pregnant?
At the moment?
I'm not, but I mean, I think I would like to go into a first date with him thinking that I was, to see what kind of man he is.
Okay, I'm going to put I'm pregnant at the moment in.
Wow! This is actually the best thing I've ever seen.
You don't even need to talk to the person.
How about it's not yours?
Or I was going to type in are you? Question mark, just maybe to kick off a bit of an exchange. Because it felt just statement heavy.
Yeah, this is why I'm not dating. I don't think a lot about the other person.
Yeah, feel free to put it down. Okay. Tom, you look great. You look like you're part of a SWAT team, which is attractive. But the important question is your torso cool?
Yeah, it's been properly cooled.
And that's a CO2 gas working.
It's really amazing. I struggle a lot on dates with like a hot middle. I mean, the lowest point of it has to be carting that around. It is a flask. I feel like a stepdad on a hike. You know what I mean?
Yes, but that's a good look. That's really good.
Hissing a bit.
Yeah, I am making a noise, I'll be honest about that.
But often on dates, it's not a bad idea to do a low hiss.
Yeah, just to
to make
white
them
noise.
realise it's not just going to be plain sailing.
No.
Let's talk lies, OK? They happen on dates. I've read it on Wikipedia. But if you fit your date with this, the Kokoro lie detector, straight in from Japan by chopper this morning, and you fit your date with it, you'll be alerted if they're lying. I'm going to put it on. There you go.
This discreet headset reads changes in your pulse and flashes red if it thinks you're lying.
Are you having a nice time on Gadget Man?
I'm having a great time on Gadget Man.
You're an excellent liar. You're a sociopath. This is what we're finding out. OK, now...
What, I just laughed? Is that
so
a
that
lie?
was a fake laugh. You didn't find that funny. Oh.
No, I think she's really funny.
You're malfunctioning.
While the cooler vest and lie detector clearly triumph in the fields of romantic assistance, only the chat bag has any talk when it comes to making a good first impression. But Tom and Catherine's work is not yet at an end. The pool of guests willing to work with me is practically dry, so they are contracted to be back in part 2 for the dramatic climax of this romantic investigation.
In the interests of research and for a slightly increased fee, Tom has agreed to see whether gadgets can help him with the fateful next step, the make-or-break blind date with a genuine stranger. All I need now is a Rolodex of romance-related tech to help me ensure this encounter stands a chance of a happy ending, not a euphemism. But how?
Time to call my technical support staff.
Yes, I need a Rolodex of romance-related tech. It's not a euphemism. Thanks.
While we wait for that gripping scenario to unfold, let's join 3 people masquerading as representatives of the entire population, my all-new public panel. This week they're rigorously testing gadgets designed to keep you fresh on a so-called date. Furry teeth can be date kryptonite, but luckily, help is at hand. The Oral-B Pro 6500 connects to an app which acts like your own personal trainer.
So top right, it's showing me. You've got 2 minutes.
Well, this is already great television.
Would you like to take a look?
I'd love to take the wheel. OK.
Now we're going for the tongue.
Yes.
And in a long overdue innovation to oral hygiene maintenance, the app provides brushing tips alongside local weather and fun facts.
Sailfish, swordfish and marlin are the fastest fish in the ocean, reaching speeds of up to 70 miles per hour.
The only thing I can see here is you're going to need 2 people to do your teeth.
You need an oral hygiene assistant with you at all times.
Intersection with a moist and/or pungent armpit can cause a date to descend into bitter recrimination. So thank Betsy for the world's first smart eco-deodorant. An app sets your preferences and one click dispenses the optimum amount.
Putting deodorant on, to me, is a routine task. I can do it with my eyes shut.
You just do it naturally, don't you? And what about the light?
I don't know of anybody yet that does it in the dark. It's a gimmick.
And if you're in any doubt about the current savagery of your breath, the Tanita Breath Checker gives you a rating from 0 to 6.
2. That's pretty average. I suppose on a date, this is an ideal thing to have. You know, when you think you're going to get a kiss at the end of the night, you might want to just check your breath before you go in for that first kiss. Ooh, stay away from me. Ooh. It's all right. It's not the best thing I've ever come across. But this wire's not too bad.
So you seem to have been testing gadgets which triumphed.
In first place was the Oral Pro 6500.
Well, the news has come in and they're going with the Oral-B toothbrush.
Coming up, my ratings-beating scientific examination of the intersection between love and gadgets turns to romantic gestures.
Yes, we will enjoy tonight, but we will soon be dust.
And we take a digital date live.
She's got no pulse. Tom, she's flatlined. Begin CPR immediately.
If for some reason you watched part 1, you'll already know that I've plundered deep from Gadget's funnel, adapting a whole range of technologies to a new end in my attempt to help romance blossom.
So that was a fake laugh. You didn't find that funny.
And in a matter of mins, we'll see if my technical support staff have risen to the challenge of synthesizing technology to maximize the chances of a successful first date.
But first, unless you manage your relationships with a cyborg-like coldness, there will be times when you may feel compelled to make a romantic gesture to express either enthusiasm or, more frequently, apologies to your co-respondent. Stereotypically, such gestures involve flowers, chocolates, or whitewater rafting.
But why waste time on ancient guff like that when technology can help us navigate the tedious terrain to happy ever after? En route, I've got a rendezvous with a married man who, despite this, is well versed in romantic gestures. It's Sanjeev Bhaskar.
Sanjeev.
Ah, Richard.
Thank you for joining me. Now, we're here to talk about romance. As usual. We generally meet up every week and discuss affairs of the heart.
Indeed.
What do you feel are the most romantic of gestures?
It's nice to kind of have so much affection for someone that they give you things.
Make them pay you back for the time you've put in, which brings us to the question of 3D chocolate printing. Prepare to have your third eye opened.
This 3D chocolate printer can print any design as a complete entity or onto other chocolates, cakes or biscuits. But to quote yet again from UK garage duo Shanks and Bigfoot, will the end result be sweet like chocolate?
As far as 3D printing chocolate goes, that's probably the finest I've ever had.
That's pretty good.
Next, I must woo Sanjeev with another romantic cliché, reborn as Gadget.
Here we are. The P-I-A-N-O.
The need to master Richard Clayderman's natural habitat is blown clean out of the water by the P-I-A-N-O. Its interactive projection system beams down the keys you need to hit, allowing the novice to serenade like a modern-day Tony Mortimer from East 17.
It's a classical piece, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember, is it Beethoven, is it?
Yes.
I'd imagine that that's how Beethoven first played it.
Yes. He composed it without being able to play piano, which is one of the remarkable things about Beethoven. That's why his head was so huge.
With our bromance already intensifying, we telepathically resolve to crank things up to level 7.
Sanjeev, picture this doomsday scenario. It's a romantic night, but the flowers have not arrived.
Oh.
What do? Do you panic?
Yeah, you panic, you get angry, you rail against the system.
Or do you engage the hologores?
Oh!
Bang! It's like flowers have appeared in complete three-dimensional solidity before your very eyes.
The hologores is a revolutionary, highly transparent screen that can display a virtual bouquet, making real flowers an embarrassing redundancy.
And it mimics the turntable that I put all of my flowers on in my house. And also, what I like about this particular bunch of flowers is it reminds us that we all die. It has a bleakness, it has an austerity. We must be reminded of death, a memento mori if we will, that yes, we will enjoy tonight, but we will soon be dust. And once you've hit them with the slowly rotating flowers of death, you get out the ring cam. What I think is an inappropriate title. It conjures up something very invasive. But say you're proposing to someone, you want to document that moment.
Yeah.
You don't want to just remember it as a romantic thing that happened off the cuff and dissipates. You want to film the woman.
A high-def hidden camera built into the box with a recording time of up to 90 minutes for those given to filibustering, RingCam makes sure you'll always be able to digitally review the transaction.
Oh.
No, don't, sorry. Bad angle. Here we go. Yeah?
Yeah? Is this disposable then, or do you use the same case for another
You could use this for multiple proposals. You could just keep going until someone says yes.
Till the authorities catch up with you.
Exactly. We've had a series of triumphs here, but which gadget did you like the best?
It's going to be the flowers of death, actually.
Well, Sanjeev, I'm going to leave you just to revel in its majesty. I'm going to try and walk out without ripping the gauze. Sorry, destroyed the illusion.
Ooh.
Also, you could probably use this to trap trout. So...
multifunctional.
Yep.
The marriage of technology and romantic gestures a thumping success. It's time to find out whether gadgets can handle shiz out in the field.
Thanks to the efforts of my technical support staff, it's what golfers call a slam dunk.
In a few short minutes, comedian Tom Rosenthal, who has already given his first impressions on gadgets to create good first impressions, will be creating his own first impression on a blind date with Anna, a genuine, real-life, single member of the human race that we're all supposedly a part of. To ensure total mastery of his domain, Catherine Ryan and I will be monitoring Tom's every move and word in a way that will somehow not be creepy or wrong, or like the film Sliver, using a whole heap of technical shiz not usually employed for amorous endeavours. This is how all dates should be conducted. Muscular Tom is sporting a vest more often found tucked round the torsos of health researchers, athletes and astronauts, which will tell us if he's excited or stressed. He'll also be hearing our voices, expertly coaching him through the tunnels of true love.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, thanks. I'm Tom. Nice
Tom,
to meet
nice
you.
to meet you. Anna.
Hello, Anna.
This is very nice.
The double kiss.
I think we should cheers.
Indeed. Here's to a date.
He's already used the word indeed. It's over.
To monitor their mood, we're tooled up with software that interprets the emotional content of a conversation.
Well, the emotional diamond's telling us shy. She's confident.
Layered voice analysis technology, more commonly used for fraud prevention, and call centre quality control, supposedly detects minute involuntary changes in the voice, thus reflecting various types of brain activity.
It's good. I mean, I almost think that they didn't need to trademark it, because I don't think anyone else is going to try and do this.
What sort of TV shows are you into?
That I like Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
So I know Kim.
Yeah.
Because she has the
Bum.
butt sex, yes.
Yeah.
I don't alarm you, Tom, but your BPM is 96. Calm down. You're at 96. Calm it down. You're at 96, Tom. Calm it down.
There's Courtney and Chloe, and I'd probably say you're talking about Chloe then.
No.
Oh, Courtney. Courtney, yeah.
Tom, your hands look very aggressive. Just back it off, Tom.
Her
Tom!
anything she wanted.
Tell him his BPM's at 101.
Whilst Tom's smart vest is relaying info on his physical state, we need to know where Anna's head's at. We could do something dumb like ask her, but instead we sensibly elect to record her electrodermal activity with the Empatica E4, which shows us her heart rate and level of open inverted commas arousal, close inverted commas.
You mentioned you'd buy her anything she wanted. Suggest a nose job. Offer to buy her a nose job. See how she takes that.
What if I could buy you anything? Would you like me to buy you a nose job?
Not really.
No, I wouldn't like that either. Because if anyone needs a nose job, it would be me.
Back out, Tom. Her arousal has gone down.
Tom, take this in. What I've heard is that it's very good if you give a compliment and then a negative thing immediately afterwards. So just say, nice hair, you bloody idiot.
Nice hair.
Thanks,
bloody idiot.
With future marriage a mere formality, I yearn to see what happens when Tom takes it up a notch with some timely tricep dips.
Excuse me, just gonna... It's good, isn't it? Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's brilliant.
That's two.
The arousal's gone through the roof with these tricep dips. It's right up there.
You can sit back on your chair now.
As the food-based element of their dinner date arrives,
Oh, thank you.
Tom's on fire.
Let's eat that nice food.
But the readings seem to contradict what we know in our hearts.
Tom, you're in a rut. Your emotional diamond is just pointing towards shy and stressful. We're going to give you some lines from the random pickup generator.
For faltering conversation, I've specifically commissioned software directly linked to the retrieved joke ring binders of Bob Monkhouse.
Do you have any raisins?
Do you have any raisins?
Any raisins? No.
How about another date then?
How about another date then?
Oh, I get it.
Oh, Tom, the arousal just absolutely plummeted. It was like the depression here.
Temperature's another surefire giveaway, so we're employing a camera that's often used in property maintenance.
I can see that Anna's got a very cold nose.
She's losing heat, Tom. She's losing heat fast.
She's got no pulse. Tom, she's flatlined. Begin CPR immediately.
As Anna draws the date to a natural close, Gadgets have allowed Cupid's shaft to strike home.
You did drink more of the wine than me, technically, but happy to cover the cost.
I think we've done an incredible job.
The nose is still cold, but I think that may be a blood supply problem on her part. The confidence has been slightly knocked, so he's done his job. He's still as shy as he used to be. His BPM's out of control. What I think we can probably tell is that both these people need a full medical rundown. And if you get that at the end of a date, an incentive to live longer and get things checked out that you really ought to have got checked out before, I think that's a success.
We're saving lives.
Thank you.
Whilst the application of real-time analysis and mentoring has been a triumph, sadly not even I can marshal the emotions of others.
It seems that however scientific, rigorous and factual you try to be in affairs of the heart, people remain stubbornly and willfully unbiddable. Problems that can't even be overcome by gadgets.
Next time, health and safety. How gadgets can help you protect the things you love.
The house is secure.
Avoid danger.
This really is on fire.
And stay safe, whatever happens.
They call me Richard Ayoade, and at the risk of cheating you out of a mystery, what follows is a rigorous rummage through technology loosely grouped around a supposedly unifying theme. I wish us all the very best of luck.
And tonight that theme is health and, in a very additional sense, safety. How to safeguard your home.
The house is secure.
Protect your possessions. And prepare yourself for the worst case scenario.
Albert Einstein, the top scientist and fuzzy hair icon, said that the world is a dangerous place, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. Well, perhaps if Albert had met me, he would have carved out a special caveat for this broadcast, because even though I am in many ways evil, I am going to fight danger with gadgets.
Risk assessment. What is it good for? Absolutely everything. And as such, I've put in place a crest of contingency plans to guarantee the safety of my person, my crib, and my sweet, sweet gadgets. Outside gadget towers, I've installed the Orbit Yard Enforcer. Movement sensors trigger water jets designed to scare off potential threats such as dogs, cats, or water-soluble assailants. Securing your domicile with a lock and key is well retro, so I use a lock and phone. The August Smart Lock uses Bluetooth as an alternative to a key. Should I ever wish to let someone in when I am out, I can send them a code. Inside, my paranoia continues unabated.
Here we go.
All incoming mail is screened by the ScanMail 10K. And in case I break my absolutely no visitors ever policy, I have the high PECF portable metal detector to bring airport-style scrutiny to the home.
And my final personal pièce de résistance is Linda, an intelligent robot programmed to autonomously patrol the house and make sure no one tries to jack my shiz.
Linda uses a laser scanner 20 times a second to help her move around, building up a map of her environment. Able to recognise the presence of intruders, the aim is to develop robots like Linda to work with conventional human-style security guards.
The house is secure.
I appreciate that. Thank you for your communication.
Thanks, Richard. Have a nice day.
Undoubtedly, the best way to stay safe is to bunker down at home in lockdown mode. But sometimes even I need to engage with the outside world. So to help me assess the latest gadgets aimed at keeping you safe in the urban jungle is an actor who's played a plethora of villains, rogues and rapscallions. Keith Allen.
Hello, Keith. How are you?
I'm very good, Richard. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks for joining me in the ghetto.
This is my manor, son.
We're a couple of tough nuts. That's what the world knows us as.
Yes.
But for other people who aren't equipped with animal instincts like ours, they're going to have to use gadgets, and I'm going to show you some. I'm looking hench.
Yes,
It's
yes.
not all my own work. I've got to give some kudos to the Funky Bot T-shirts. It gives a brother like me even more muscle definition than I normally have.
Let me just have a look at that.
Yes.
If I put that on,
yes,
I would just look like I'm slightly fatter than I actually am. I've got to say, Richard, I think that's of no value whatsoever.
Okay.
To any person who's looking to, you know, tough it out.
Let's discard it. I'm going to invite you to make a lunge at me.
Okay.
Wait 1 second, because the wolf pack is going to be engaged.
The what?
Do it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Exactly.
That is amazing.
The protection it offers is really just the icing on an already fantastic cake. The Wolfpack's USP is turning a backpack into a front pack for extra protection from pickpockets, with the bonus of easy access to your shears.
You know what these streets are like, Keith.
Tough.
Do you think someone's going to be able to take my wallet?
In these parts, yes, on a regular basis.
Nuh-uh. I've got the Smart Wallet Pro. This is linked up to my smartphone. If someone opens this wallet, I get a text about it.
Amazing.
Says my wallet is open.
And does it track it? If somebody steals it, it tracks it?
I can track it. Not only will it tell me how far away they are, I can also use GPS to find out the direction. And then, when I track them down, they've got a whooping coming to them.
Let's just imagine that I'm one of London's leading pickpockets. Oh, excuse me, Gav, you haven't got the time on you, please, have you?
I do on my phone. It's
Is
9...
this one of the wolf packs that you're wearing here? Can I have a look this side,
You know it's
sir?
made of
That
a
is
material
amazing.
that's
How much
even
did you
from
pay for that, Governor?
It was only £4.
Tell you what, they
On
saw you come in. Thanks very much.
OK, I'm gonna... Oh, my wallet's open. My wallet's open. Hello? Hello? Hello?
It works.
It's time to crank things up a click.
Down there, that's what they call street-level crime. Up here,
Roof-level.
this is roof-level crime.
That's a different
Which is
level.
an entirely different ballgame. You could be a sniper. Do you see what I mean? You could be on the run from the old Bill. You're up here for a reason.
Or I could be in a season finale of TJ Hooker. Well, Keith, this is where a lot of my showdowns occur, which is why I've brought you here.
I can see that, yeah.
I'm going to give you a head start with the Zion protective gear.
Ah, I've heard about this.
So, this works as a kind of body armour.
Oh, right, OK, interesting.
And it's got a revolutionary material in,
Which
D3O.
D3O?
Which has intelligent molecules. That's what they say. It flows with you, and then upon an impact, toughens up within a fraction of a second.
That's amazing.
But this isn't just for stuntmen and SWAT teams. No. Other bodies, such as the bodies of extreme sports athletes, skateboarders, and snow sports practitioners, can also be protected.
Now, if I were to suddenly attack you violently like this...
There, I've got you. Wait, bang.
See?
What?
You're fine. Didn't even feel it.
No, punch. That toughened up.
Yeah. I mean, my
great.
finger's in agony now.
Now, observe me seamlessly segue from my tough guy persona into a 1980s Miami Vice drug dealer, like Philip Collins.
So say I've brought you up here to move a shipment of snow, but you suddenly pull a piece on me. What am I going to do?
Run?
No, I'm going to reach for my bulletproof soft bag. And
Sorry?
in the time it takes for the bullet to travel towards me, I will have unzipped it. Bear in mind, the bullet's still travelling towards me at point blank range. And then I'm enjoying an NIJ level 3A ballistic protection. That bullet's going straight into my massive soft bag.
Oh,
you
shut
can't get...
up.
What are you talking about? Here. The snow's over there. Alfonso,
There's another one of my,
snow.
there's one of my gang behind
Pick
you
up the
with some snow.
He's dropped the snow.
No, it's just nonsense.
Well, I think you haven't been in as many tough situations as I have. I'm never going to leave my house without this. Well, thank you very much for joining me. And next time shiz gets real on the street, you know who to call.
You're the man.
I'll see you later.
Easy.
Having shown how technology can optimize your health and safety, it's time to show how you can protect your gadgets from peril's ceaseless onslaught. And with scant provision for safety in their temporary workplace, are 3 chances representing 20 million people apiece by public panel. A scratched or cracked phone is mobile misery no more, thanks to the Sir Lancelot's Holy Grail screen protector. It's rated as a 9 on the Mohs scale of hardness.
That is incredible, isn't it? OK, there's only one thing left for it. Should we do the hammer test? peel it up at a corner. Look at that.
That's unbelievable.
The eyeballs, shock-absorbing spheres held on the corners of your tablet with elastic cord.
OK, I'm going to go for full height.
And there we go.
It does the job.
And for those like me who lack the confidence in humanity to swim without their keys, the Davis Key Boy comes as a welcome relief.
So that was quick.
It worked quick, didn't it? I could have done with one of these. Because I got off a boat a little bit the worse for wear and dropped my keys in the canal.
We are divided by a distressed table, but united in our quest for truth. Please be honest with me. The #1 gadget is...
Has to be the eyeballs.
It has to be the eyeballs. The eyeballs have triumphed.
Coming up, I destruction test the latest safety gadgets. And with the definitive risk assessment in hand, I prepare a gadget arsenal for the end of days.
I feel 100% safer.
In the previous half of this already world-renowned health and safety-themed Gadge-Off, I gave an exhaustive rundown of the precautionary technology available to safeguard your home and yourself whilst away from said home.
Now we have vanquished villainy, what about the constant mocking grip of fate's fickle fingers? I'm talking accidents, y'all, because sometimes shiz happens.
And when it does, can gadgets keep you safe? In the interest of consumer research and low-budget spectacle, let's find out, together, now, as a team.
As you probably know, I do a lot of upper thigh and lower back modelling for medical magazines, so I'm contractually forbade from undertaking stunt work. That is the only reason that Gary, a professional stuntman, is acting as my double. Where the heck is your blue jumper, Gary? Yeah? Heard of continuity? You're going to blow this illusion. You need to sharpen up.
So imagine that while cycling, I failed to spot a parked car. A painful mistake which would have been even more painful if I was not rocking the Morpher helmet. This British design folds flat for easy storage or transport, but when locked together exceeds all relevant safety standards. In case I need to make a claim, I've got the right eye. It's constantly shooting video, but an impact will cause it to store a back-time clip of the incident. The final piece of my accident anticipation kit is the iStock crash sensor. It too detects impact and starts a countdown on your phone. If not stopped, it will alert your emergency contacts.
Hi, just received a text saying I've had an accident, which is good news because it means this system is working well, but obviously bad news for you. How did the helmet stand up?
Yeah, good.
Good, good. Let's not involve the emergency services because I probably shouldn't have parked this, so across the road here.
After a hard cycle, I retired to the shed for 5 or 6 hours of ironing, but my desire to rehydrate my lunch places an unbearable demand on the overloaded electrics. Fortunately, I fit all my executive sheds with a Nest smoke alarm. The Nest not only detects fire, but tells you where it is.
There's smoke in the study.
Perhaps overkill in a shed, but not in a house where opening the door on a fire could kill you.
And to tackle this fire, I'll be using this Saver fire evacuation mask, which employs a pre-filter, Popcolite filter, and HEPA filter to safeguard against smoke, dust, carbon monoxide, and other airborne particles. And such is my bravery. I'm going to now deploy the Soteria throwable fire extinguisher, because this really is on fire.
With the Saver protecting me from the smoke, I can get close enough to lob the Soteria. The chemicals inside react to create ammonia and carbon dioxide, as well as foam, to smother the fire.
How did that work out then? Good, okay.
So gadgets can help in domestic disaster, but what if the problem you face is a little bigger? Something not covered adequately by current health and safety legislation. I'm talking apocalypse, y'all. Like an asteroid colliding with the Earth, a tidal wave engulfing East Anglia, or, my pet peeve, nuclear war. I've come to a nuclear bunker buried deep in an Essex hillside to give apocalyptic survival a long overdue reboot.
Back in the 1980s, the last decade to make any sense to anyone, the British government issued this pamphlet telling the public how to survive a nuclear blast. It suggested we live under the stairs, eat tin food, and do bottom time in a bucket. But not this canary. When the final drop comes, and it will come, I'm going to want to be somewhere like this, and I'm going to want an arsenal of Gadge.
Fortunately, everything you need to survive a global disaster is now available to buy online. Most of it designed to mitigate against the multiple perils of camping holidays or the unholy hazards of pop music festivals. Joining me to assess said gadgets is a comedian, musician and bunker lover.
Hello, Bill Bailey.
Hello, Richard.
Thank you for joining me.
No, welcome.
But this is a regular haunt of yours, isn't it?
We often bring the family here for kids' parties and fun in the woods.
Well, today's not about fun, it's about survival.
Right.
So it's going to get real, and you're going to have to keep up. Bill, we need to safeguard our domes.
Yes.
Things are falling. It's the nuclear aftermath. I don't know, girders, whatever.
Winter, the nuclear winter.
Whatever it is. We need the full act safety helmet hood.
Okay.
Looks like an attractive wallet. Something that you just keep your jumbo cards in.
Inside, a first aid kit, gloves, torch and whistle. Everything you'll need in the event of global emergency. Or if you need to restock the rucksack of someone inexplicably stuck in 90s rave culture.
But, as well as that, you can now put it on your head thus.
No way.
Oh.
This versatile gadget hails from Japan, where, because of the threat of earthquakes, many children have a similar safety hood at school.
I feel immediately 100% safer.
And I like that this dangles, because it provides a bit of movement and a bit of interest.
It's kind of like an anglerfish. I feel a little bit like, you know, that's the bait. You're walking along, you think, I've forgotten my socks. Wait a minute.
No, straight out from the mesh.
The dogs run off.
Whip it out.
Whistle.
Now, Bill, your head is safeguarded.
Okay.
I'm just going to have to interlock my fingers. Let's leave. You know the situation we're in.
Yeah.
It's the big mushroom. Shiz has gone down.
Yes.
We need comms. But how are we going to communicate?
Talk.
We need to fire chat. This is an app that you can download, hopefully pre-apocalypse, which will allow us to communicate without resorting to Wi-Fi.
I've tried to write, hi, Richard, but it's come out as Rinpoche.
OK.
FireChat uses Bluetooth to connect to friends who also have the app up to a distance of around 70 metres. It can also use other mobiles as stepping stones to extend the range. Ideal for staying in touch post-apocalypse or at one of the UK's many tip-top pop festivals.
Bill, we've been fire-chatting throughout the eve.
Yes.
Our battery's depleted.
Yep.
What are we going to do?
I don't know, get a new battery?
The BioLite thermoelectric charge.
The BioLite is a kettle with a built-in thermoelectric generator, a crucial piece of forward planning for the wilderness camper who cannot bring him or herself to cease tweeting.
I'm going to plug this into the phone.
Oh, look at that. Bosh, we're literally charging with gas.
But what about the equally important matter of perhaps eating? Soylent, Bill.
That name's ringing a very, very loud alarm bell.
Soylent has been developed for the time poor to take the faff out of buying and cooking. With max nutrition for min effort, it's the perfect meal to consume only as an absolute emergency.
It has vitamin A, C, calcium, iron, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K. What is that?
Only in terms of outdated bourgeois notions of taste does Soylent have any shortcomings as a foodstuff.
To repopulation.
To the New World Order.
That's Soylent for you.
That really does hit the spot.
That's a chalky drink. Even though it's post-fallout, we still need to bunk down.
Yes.
With dignity.
Of course.
And decorum. Bedding.
Yep.
These look unforgiving. Bill, you know this because you're on the cusp, as ever. But this is the Windcatcher AirPad 2. Remember the AirPad 1?
Forget
Dinosaurs. The AirPad 2 has nailed it.
If you're outside for more than 2 hours, it's likely you'll want a nap. But how do you prepare for this necessity in a crisis situation? Check the Windcatcher. No pump required. When you blow into the valve, your breath is amplified 10 times, pulling in more of the surrounding air for speedy inflation.
So, hang on, you've got the AirPad 2. What have I got then?
You've got a wearable futon, Bill.
Really?
Let's unsheath it together.
Let's do that. Let me take it.
This Japanese design is aimed at workers looking to keep productive right up until they lose consciousness. Just slip it on to move effortlessly from work to power nap to more work.
Okay.
Zip that up. Not only can you reshoot any Beastie Boys video you want, but you're also ready to bed down. Shall we,
Shall I?
Top bunk?
You taking top or?
I'm going boss.
All right.
Oh. Okay. Bear in mind I'm on the bottom bunk, Bill. I'm on the bottom. Here we go. You're in. You're in. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
This is so comfortable, I can't tell you.
Good night, Bill boy.
Good night, Mr. Richard.
To conclude our highly plausible post-apocalyptic scenario, we need only ask what gadgets would require if the security of the bunker was suddenly compromised.
Alarm, Bill. Scramble, scramble. Leave the futon behind. It's a rental. Scramble, scramble, scramble.
In emergencies, I always pop an audio flare, safer and longer lasting than traditional pyrotechnics and visible for 3 nautical miles.
Well, Bill, we've survived.
Yep.
The world of light entertainment is safe to fight another day. But what about the roads, Bill? There's going to be gridlock out there. How are we going to get out of here?
As part of any decent post-apocalyptic contingency plan, you need transport standing by and ready for action.
Have we got a chopper?
We don't have Airwolf.
Oh.
What we do have is this crate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Check the Mantis. This unique all-terrain transport was built by SFX wizard Matt Denton, who has just finished working on a much-anticipated new sci-fi film, which we can't mention. It weighs 1,900 kilograms, is 2.8 meters high, and has a diesel engine to power its hydraulic legs. But it only has 1 seat, so my survival depends on jettisoning dead weight like Bill.
I'm going to leave you with a Spot Gen 3. It's an emergency GPS satellite tracker.
Okay. And that's what this does. What? Just tells people.
Yes, if you press it, the emergency services may well come. All the best. Thanks, Bill.
Oh no. Thanks.
And you might survive this.
Yeah. So it's just the 1 seat in there, is it?
Just the 1 seat, Bill.
Okay. Well, I'll be fine.
And remember, you're a guest, not the pilot.
Right. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I've got tracking skills and trapping skills.
It only does 1 mile an hour and uses 2 gallons of fuel to the mile, but it can go anywhere, and its long legs are strong enough to push things out of its path. Perfect for post-apocalyptic peregrination.
When I talk about insects taking over the world, I imagine something like this being at the vanguard. A giant mechanised mantis with plans for world domination.
As we have seen, the world is a place of unrelenting savagery and danger. You need a plan, you need to prepare, and you need to gadge up.